Hi guys, Steve here in Palm Springs, and today I want to share something with you that happened to me earlier this week. Actually, I guess it happened about 3 days ago. It was kind of embarrassing, but even more than embarrassing, it was pretty scary and extremely painful. And I'm curious if this has happened to any of you. So a few days ago, I got up, had breakfast. It was around 4 o'clock, my usual time. I go to bed pretty early. I go to bed like at 8 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, I'm usually wide awake. And I got up, I had some toast, and then I did what I do every morning after I have my breakfast. I take an all-day allergy tablet, and this is just an Equate from Walmart. They're very tiny tablets. They go down very easily. And then I also take one of these. I take one a day. It's called potassium citrate, and these are basically horse pills. I mean, they're gigantic, and they're probably 10 times the size of the other pills I take. I don't have any problem taking aspirin or the daily pill I normally take for my acid reflux or the daily pill I normally take for my allergies. They're small, they go down very easily, but this potassium citrate, I guess it's probably been about 5 years ago now that my urologist prescribed this for me because of my kidney stones. Apparently they discovered at some point that the kind of kidney stones that I have can often be caused because I just don't have enough potassium in my system. So it just increases the potassium in your system, and it does it, these pills, they're rock hard and they're time released. And so they just release over a period of 24 hours. And so for the past 5 years or so, I've been taking them, no problem. Every now and then, in the past, I've had a little difficulty swallowing them, but nothing major, not really a big deal. I drink lots of water, so it hasn't been a problem. But for some reason, this year, since about January, I guess around the last 6 months, I've had so much trouble swallowing these pills. I don't know if my throat is just maybe with aging, it's getting tighter, or my reflexes, or I don't know what exactly is happening, but something definitely has happened because over the last 6 months, I would say at least once or twice a week, the pill gets it goes down sideways or goes down crooked, and it gets caught in my throat, and a couple times I've had to just throw it up, and my gag reflex, maybe it's just getting stronger as I get older for some reason. I'm not sure what is causing the problem, but I've been having a really difficult time swallowing these pills. I told my doctor about it. He said, well, just cut them in half. And so I've been trying that, but when I cut them in half, they're, like I say, they're extremely hard, and then they get these really jagged edges, so these are like these jagged pills. Isn't there a song about that? And so they do go down a little bit easier, but then they scratch my throat and esophagus and who knows what else going down. And so that hasn't been great either. So this week, while I was having breakfast a few days ago, I actually cut the pill in half, as I've been doing, swallowed the first half, went down fine. The second half, it got caught, it got lodged in the side of my neck. And I don't know, I don't know if it got lodged in the tonsil area or the esophagus area or where, but it was lodged, and I could feel it it was so painful, I could feel it on the outside. And after a little bit of time, a few minutes, I tried water, I tried soda, I tried, things with bubbles, I tried everything. I tried coughing, I tried moving my head at different angles, trying to dislodge it, could not dislodge it. And it was starting to swell, it was very painful. And after about a half hour, 45 minutes, I told Jim, I said, I'm going to have to go to the emergency room. And he thought I was just crazy. He said, it's a pill. It'll dissolve. But like I say, these are pills that are designed to dissolve in your stomach acid and in your gut over a period of 24 hours. They don't easily dissolve real fast like any of the other pills, like an aspirin would probably dissolve if you drink some soda or whatever, it would probably dissolve in 5-10 minutes. This is not that kind of pill, and it's hard as a rock. And it's going to stay hard as a rock, or at least I was afraid it might, and I was right. So after about an hour, I decided just to drive myself to the emergency room. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I could still breathe, and I could still swallow, so I wasn't too worried. The emergency room, luckily our hospital is really close. It's 10 minutes away, so I figured it wouldn't be a big deal, and I was perfectly fine to drive myself. So I went to the emergency room, and Jim thought I was crazy for even going. And if you know me, I'm not at all the type of person to go to the emergency room or the doctor unless I'm on death's doorstep. And I thought, well, if this keeps swelling up, I mean, it could close my airway, or I might not be able to breathe, or I might not be able to swallow. So I thought, better safe than sorry. It was early in the morning. I thought, well, maybe they won't be too busy. It was still dark out. I got there, still dark, not too many people in the waiting room, but not too many people working there either. And so it was kind of like a ghost town in there, it seemed, when I first got there. And so I told them what happened. It was kind of embarrassing. I thought, well, I'm sure they're going to think, well, just drink some water and it'll dissolve. And, I explained. I took the pills. I took these pills with me to show them, and they said, actually, this is actually not uncommon at all, that it happens quite a bit. The doctor finally came in after about an hour to see me after sitting there in pain, and it was just getting more and more painful, swelling up more and more. I could swallow, but I had like this excruciating sore throat, and I didn't have a sore throat while I was eating breakfast. Before I took the pill and I got stuck, I didn't have a sore throat. So I got this horrendous sore throat, and I could just feel it swelling, and I could feel the pill just stuck in the side of my neck. So I thought they could just, I thought they probably had some kind of tool where they could just open my mouth, go in and see it and just pull it out. And the doctor said, no, we don't do that. And so she did look with with her little light. She goes, no, I don't see anything. And she goes, and I said, well, can't you get somebody? Can't somebody go in and just pull it? She goes, no, we don't do that. And I didn't know why, but she said, we can give you something to make you vomit, and that may vomit the pill out. And I was like, oh, great, that sounds horrible. I hate to vomit. And then she came back, she went away, and I thought she was going to bring something or have somebody bring something to do that. But a nurse came about an hour later, and she said, we're going to give you a shot, and what it will do, it'll relax the muscles in your neck. And they wanted to make sure I could drink, so they had me drink water just to make sure I could swallow. And so they gave me the shot in my arm to relax my muscles, and didn't really do anything. And after a half hour, I hadn't done anything. And I guess it'd been almost an hour at this point, another hour, and still no change, just extreme pain. It was just getting more and more painful. And the doctor came back and said, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Our policy is if you can still breathe and if you can still swallow, we just send you home, and you have to wait for it to pass. I'm thinking they made me wait 3 hours to tell me that, but then I thought, well, maybe they were waiting just to make sure my throat didn't swell up. So that made sense. And I don't know if that was the reason or not, or if they were just busy doing other things or just forgot that I was there. I don't know. It was kind of a weird experience. So when the doctor came back and said, okay, we're just going to send you home now, I'm like, seriously? I said, I'm in excruciating pain. I said, can you give me anything for the pain at least? They said, well, okay, we can give you this. It's a cocktail or something, a pain relief cocktail. And it was liquid. I drank it. It was about the size of this here, full of liquid. And I drank it, and I think on the side I saw it said one of the ingredients was lidocaine. And she said, it's going to numb your throat, it'll numb all the way down to your stomach. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm in so much pain right now, I need something. And so I took that and didn't really have any effect. She said, well, don't drink anything for about 20 minutes at least. And so they said, you're fine to go home, to drive home. So I drove myself home. I actually, once I got in the car, I turned on my camera to film. I thought, well, let me just talk about this before I drive home and explain why I'm here. I was in so much pain, I couldn't talk at all. And so I couldn't even film and talk about my experience at the ER because I just couldn't speak and I was in so much pain. So I drove home and just went straight to bed and slept the rest of the day. And the pain, by the end of the day, the pain it started subsiding a little bit. And I was going to take like aspirin or ibuprofen or something because I had a really bad sore throat and I could still feel the pill lodged in my neck or my throat. Then I thought, no, I think I want to not take any pain medication just so I can feel if it's like getting less and less. Maybe the pill is dissolving and I want to be able to know if it's gone. But I never did feel it come out of where it was trapped, and I never swallowed it, I don't think. I think it just finally, after about it took about 3 days before the pain finally went away. In fact, this is day 3. And I woke up this morning with just a tiny little bit of a sore throat, and I don't feel the pill anymore. So I think in my throat that pill took longer to dissolve because it wasn't being dissolved by battery acid, wasn't being dissolved by stomach acid and intestinal acids. So I think it took longer to dissolve. Fortunately, it was just half a pill, half of that horse pill. And I think because it was all jagged, that's probably why it got lodged in there and it couldn't dislodge itself. It was just stuck because of the sharp edges. So I'm never taking that pill again. And I'm going to see if my doctor can prescribe this pill in powder form. Now, I think I talked to him about it a while back, and I can't remember if he said that they can't give it as a prescription. You just have to pay out of pocket and it's pretty expensive. Or maybe you just need a lot more of it because you need to take it throughout the day instead of just the one pill. Can't remember why. There was a reason why I didn't switch over, and he didn't think it was the best idea to switch over, but I have no choice now. I'm never taking a horse pill like that again, ever, no matter what it is. I'm just not going to do that. I really thought that I might die. I mean, that sounds dramatic, but if you've ever gotten anything stuck in your throat and then it starts to swell up and you're in excruciating pain, it's kind of scary. And I didn't know if my air pipe would be completely blocked or if I wouldn't be able to swallow anything. Luckily, ER was just 10 minutes away. I wasn't too concerned. I figured I should be able to get there in 10 minutes, and that's probably not going to happen in 10 minutes. If it does, I can call 911 from the road and I'll still be closer to the hospital. So I figured it was still probably a safe bet to drive myself there. Or I've never had a pill get stuck in my throat. Jim gets the little pills sometimes. I think if he has a dry throat, they'll get stuck, going down, and it's uncomfortable, and you have to drink something to get it to go down. And I think that maybe has happened to me once or twice in the past, where maybe my throat's a little dry and a pill just gets stuck before it goes all the way down. It's uncomfortable, but these are teeny little pills, and just a little water or soda with bubbles or something will just wash it right down usually, so it's not a big deal. I don't know, is it a thing when you get older, you have a harder time swallowing pills? I guess I should Google that. I didn't Google that, but I did Google about people getting pills stuck in their throat, and apparently it is pretty common, or fairly common. So I'm just curious, have any of you ever had that happen to you, and have any of you had to go to the emergency room? Like I say, I never would go to the emergency room unless I thought it was almost life or death, or really, really serious. Since I've been retired now, I think I've been to the emergency room or urgent care now. This is like the 3rd time in 3 years. I mean, that's crazy. I don't think I've been to the emergency room 3 times in my entire life. But now, after being retired, I've been to the emergency room or urgent care 3 times in the last 3 years. Gosh, that is insane. I hope that's just a weird fluke and not something that's going to continue. So I'm curious, have you had the same experience where you find yourself going to the emergency room or urgent care now more than before you retired? Share with us in the comments section. It's always interesting to hear your feedback, and your comments have been so helpful to me in so many different ways. And I actually have quite a few comments that I'm going to make videos about that you've left, because the information you've left has been so helpful, information that I didn't know anything about. I never even heard about some of these things. So definitely very helpful, so I really appreciate it. And just wanted to share this with you today. So again, kind of embarrassing to go to the emergency room because a pill got stuck in my throat. So as always, thanks for joining me once again today, and I hope to see you next time.